that Dawood alayhi salam, has to be his ancestor of Dawood. Jesus does not meet that. Dawood will come in as with a sword and fight the Goliath that he killed previously, and it's in the Quran. So it's there. Okay, we know he's a fierce leader, but Jesus is what? A very peaceful man. He's very humble. So that didn't fly well with. So what did the Jews have? What choice do they have? They don't like Jesus. They think he's coming in to stand on their side. He's coming in to convert them to Christianity. This is a threat. What happened if Musaylim al-Kadab comes in and says, we are going to do this? Or the Bahai guy said, I'm a prophet and all that. Or the Antichrist comes in, you're going to fight him. They live in the Roman Empire, and the Roman Empire is ruled by Titus, and the governor in that area is Pontius Pilate. He is the governor, he's a Roman governor, and if you are a governor, what would you do? You have to govern in justice. You don't want to try to appease anybody, because you want to keep this peace in the empire. The Jews came to him and said, this guy who's telling us he's the king and he's saying he's the Messiah, he's going to convert us, he's lying, we want him to be killed. Well, what would you do? You have some group of your congregation comes into you, you're going to listen to him. Well, let me invite Jesus and talk to him and see what he has to say. If he is criminal, we're going to crucify him, because about maybe a week or two from now, we have a day that is we kill people. We hang them on crosses, and on a hill it's called the skull. Go look, something that starts with a G, you can look it up, and this is in the Bible. So they're going to kill. Well, let's come on in. What's your name? Jesus. Okay, do you tell the truth? And this is in the Bible. Do you tell the truth? He said, I will tell the truth. Ask him probably about, well, what's your message? My message is peace. I'm not here to kill anybody. I'm just here to tell them about this. Are you the king? He said, well, if you say I'm the king, I'm the king. That's what Jesus told me. You tell me I'm the king. I didn't say it. He may not have said I don't see it. But if you say it, fine, I'll accept that. Okay? But he never said to him anything that defies the Jews, or try to kill him, or try to make anything that's against the laws of the Romans. He didn't say anything like that. So what would you do as a person? He didn't defy or do anything wrong against the Roman laws, and he didn't do anything to hurt the Jews. So this guy's not a criminal. Has no criminal record. Oh, he thinks come in peace. So he went to the Jews and said, and this is in the Bible, you can read it on the source, I have them. He said, I don't have anything to hold him for it. What would you... The story among the Christians, no, they went back to him and they kind of inflated Pontius Pilate and said he's a criminal, he killed so many people. No, it's in the Bible. It says the guy's innocent. So what would you do if you're a leader? I lived under Gaddafi. Gaddafi let people that are innocent go away if he's convinced that they didn't do anything to topple his government. So he said, what is the logical explanation? He let him go. He let him go. And I will have some more evidence later on to prove that actually let him go. What happened is, then came that skull day, that crucifixion day. And it's in their Bible. Because 3 people were brought in for criminal records. Okay? 2 of them were thieves. And one of them, Christians believe he was, at least disciples, Jesus thought he was Jesus. But there's no confirmed record of what else is in there. So the 2, they're thieves. One of them, good thief, and the other one is a bad thief. I don't know if I've seen any good thief that's going to be hanged on a cross. But that's what the literatures say in their books. Okay, one is Damas, one Kamas. Kamas is the one that, well, at least one source, the one that good, and the other one, Damas, is bad. But the third person, okay, was to be hanged. If the Jesus disciples, some say they're 12, some say they're 72, but some say they're 5,000, some 10,000, 50,000. The numbers really kind of float everywhere. Most likely they're in the 70s. But what happened is, if you know the Jews want to kill Jesus, to have him killed, and you're following the Jews, what are they going to do to you? They're going to kill you too, right? If they're going to tell you what you're going to do, you go hide, right? So in the literature, in the Bible, said they were hiding. So nobody witnesses from the disciples of Jesus witnesses the hanging. Nobody. From the disciples, Jesus, no, in the Bible, their stories. Mary was there. Mary was also his mother. And then she committed adultery. She can't be there. They found her. And so what happened is they say, so they hanged the first 2, or maybe one first and Jesus. Now the guy that was hanged, okay, if he's an innocent human being from the street like you and I, what would he do? He has nothing. Maybe he will say, well, I'm sorry, I did it. Please, God, forgive me. What did he say? He said, and I will just try to kind of tell you about this. it's really kind of, it just makes your skin shiver in the cry that he did say, and let me just read it to you. He said, and this is in the Bible, Eloi, Eloi, lima sabaqtani. Crying, Eloi, Eloi, lima sabaqtani. What does that phrase mean? My God, why have you forsaken me? Why have you forsaken me? Crying as loud as he could. In the Bible, like I said, it's written there in the Bible. If you are a criminal and you said, God, please forgive me, what would you say? You said what this man said, right? We know that. But if you are the Son of God and you are God, let's look at that. Let's look at his God. God, if he decreed he dies because Jesus died for our sins, he would know. When Miriam, God told her, you're going to be pregnant, this is a decree from God, she didn't say anything. If God knows he's going to be hanged for the sins of humanity, he would have known, he wouldn't say anything. Oh yeah, please, I'd help you put it up. What if he was the Son of God? Well, let's look at it. Okay, he's the Son of God. If he's the Son of God, yes, okay, what happened? Let's look at the history. Okay? If he's the Son of God, let's look at Abraham alayhi salam. What Abraham happened to him? He saw, قال إني أرى في المنام أن أذبحك. What did the son say? يا أبت افعل ما ترى. My dad, he told his son. So God would have told Jesus in advance, if he had the love of the son, he would have even more love for his son than Abraham. But Abraham came to his son, my dear son, I have forsaken. What did the son say? قال يا أبت افعل ما تؤمر. يا أبت افعل ما تؤمر. So what happened is, the son did not, why didn't Ismail or Isaac, according to the Jews, why in the heck would he run for his life? Why didn't he go hide? Why didn't he just told his dad, just take a hike, I'm not going to do it? He obeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, before he does anything, he let his prophets know. He let them know. Look at what, يا أيها الرسول بلغ ما أرسل إليك فإن لم تفعل فما بلغت رسالته والله يعصمك من الناس. To the prophet, if I gave you a message, go out and spread it. If you don't spread it, you're violating my rules. And don't be afraid of people. Right? Don't be afraid of people. That's what the Quran tells us. And look at Ibrahim alayhi salam. They put him in hellfire. They put him on fire and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved him. What did he do with Ismail? He brought a sheep. God does not like killing. It's not in the nature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He doesn't kill people. You cannot sacrifice his son because Adam screwed up. And brother Ahmed Didat said, we never called me and told me I'm going to eat that fruit. Or his wife told him to eat that fruit. So the reality is, it's not the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not the person that was crucified cannot be Jesus because he would have violated one of the covenants of a prophet is to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by crying for him to please help. Okay? And we'll build a little bit on it. So as Allah Well, let's go in and now, alhamdulillah, so we're going to go to the story of the crucifixion. And I already mentioned that. Now after the crucifixion, what happened? They said they crucified him. He was 3 days, maybe Wednesday, Thursday, 3 days on the cross, hanging out there. Put pegs in there with a wooden or metal on his hands, tied his feet, and kept him hanging. After the hanging, Pontius Pilate, the Jews they would want him dead. He said, well, go ahead, told the soldier, at least one story, said the soldier took the sword and poked it in Jesus' ribs and made sure. He said, then he asked him, did you kill him? He said, absolutely. He said, there's a note down there. Well, then they took him out on probably, it said, sometime Saturday night because the Jews not that big Jews, the Roman rule, maybe they took him 3 days later. And Joseph Matthias, which is a wealthy man, he has a little chamber. He put him in the chamber. Okay, and this is in the Bible. Please read it. And I ask anybody of you, please, if you see anything in what I've said and you think it is wrong, let me know. My intention, like I said, is not to make a story, but to look at what's written to make this story, not of my own. So please, and if you are a Christian or anybody that from another denomination, please correct me, because I'm looking for facts. So they put him in that thing, and they put a rock in front of that room. Okay, and they went. They came Sunday night, put him in there, and they left. The next morning, his mother and Mary Magdalene, who's a prostitute, but she follows Jesus. Let's say he's not a prostitute, she was following Jesus. They went to the store, bought some oil, bought some incense, and they want to rub the Jesus for ornament, because he's the Messiah. I guess put anointment. Okay, anointment. So they have to rub his skin. When they came in, the chamber was open. The chamber he wasn't there. Now, there are two stories and they contradict each other. Historians said it's not right. They said there was a guy sitting out there, young man, in the chamber. And when they came in, he said, oh yeah, that guy, he just walked out of here. And I don't know what happened to him. In another way, he said, I followed him somewhere. And they made a little bit story. But then a historian said, there is no chance. In fact, that person said, it was me, Mark. The writer that wrote it, the information said, it was me, Mark. And I was the one there, and Mark, nobody, the writer of Mark is a Greek, and the story was in Aramaic, so there's no chance. In fact, when he said, that's just baloney. He said, that's not Mark. But anyway, so the guy said, let's say he said that. So they walked out there. What happened to Jesus? He was on the cross, and when he was resurrected. So the word resurrection is meaning dead became alive. Well, then Jesus was in hiding, right? I said the person that we believe is Jesus was in hiding. Well, she went out there and spread the news that Jesus was resurrected. Well, the disciples didn't hear about the story that he was resurrected. But there were two of them. There's some that says all of them, but there are two of them walking, going to a town close to Jerusalem called Emmaus. Well, they were walking and it was dark in the evening because they were hiding. So they had to travel at night. They were walking and they were all absolutely frustrated and angry because the teacher is dead. And he was crucified because they probably heard a rumor, or they heard from before when Manchu Pius was going to kill him. They were very frustrated. And when you're frustrated, you're going to talk about your teacher, about your state yourself. So all of a sudden, this guy came in and saw these two that are walking, and he said, "What's wrong with you?" They said, "Well, our teacher's being killed, and his name is Jesus, and he's going to be crucified." And we said, "Wait a minute, it's me. It's me, Jesus. It's me, look at me, my hands, my feet, my flesh," and it's in the Bible written, my flesh, and it's me. I'm not a spirit. I'm not just a human being like you. Nothing wrong with me. Do you have any bread? Do you have any food I can eat? Why would he say that? He came in from heaven with the stomach would be full, right? He was hiding for 4 days, and it's in the Bible. 4 days he was hiding, or 3 days, whatever number of days, he was hiding, he was hungry. They gave him some food and ate it. What do you think he should have said to them if he was really Jesus? He would have said, you know what's the evidence you want to give them? I have been crucified. I was on the cross for 3 days. They put me in a chamber, and if you don't believe me, look at the hole in my hand, and look at the hole in this hand, and look at my ribs. There's the blood is still there, or they start to scan. God, it just doesn't fit. It does not fit. The story does not fit, and I'm not webbing it to make a story based on my own belief. This is what's in the Bible. Jesus was never said any of that. All he said was, my message is peace, and his crucifixion, as Brother Dad said, is crucifixion, not crucifixion in the way they hanged him on the cross. Okay? So I'm going to end this. Look at the message of Jesus. Jesus never said in any Bible, I am God, worship me. Never. None of them. John is the only one who has attributed stuff to Jesus. He said, well, before Abraham, I am. Well, the word I am mentioned so many times in the Bible, you can't even count it. So how can the word I am means God? Well, they said because when Moses talked to Allah, and he asked him, are you God? He said, I am. So if Moses talked to Allah and Allah answered him, I am, so God's name must be I am. Well, I'm Muslim, That can't be God, right? So that doesn't fit. If Jesus wanted to be God, like him, إِنَّمَا أَنَا اللَّهُ فَاعْبُدُونَ. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. Very clearly, the Quran full of so many evidence that God is Allah. God in the Quran says, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدُ لَمْ يَلِدْ وَلَمْ يُولَدْ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. They said, we are created in the image of God. Who's that God? Jesus. Okay? Well, we are fallible. I can't be looking like God because we're in this thing. In fact, the Jehovah's Witness, they said if he's begotten, he can't be God because God is everlasting, he's not begotten, and so he's not there. The Mormons said the same thing. But they have the story where they believe, like I said, Jesus. So understand, so I haven't really got the word, like I said, when those disciples, about 12 or whatever number, 70, they went out to spread the message, all of them were killed. All of them were killed. So really kind of dwindled right after Jesus. The Bible is not there, the word of mouth went. What is the word of mouth? The word of mouth is, I come in and tell you a story. You don't speak my language because I take Aramaic and you talk Greek. Or you talk Roman. I tell you a story. When you go out there and maybe somehow we communicate, you know a few Aramaic languages and you know a little bit, I know a little bit Greek, you know Aramaic language, something about the Jesus, and it is true. You talk about someone who actually made the dead living. And from Allah, it's mentioned in the Quran. He cured the leprosy. He did so many things, Jesus, that makes him a very exalted person. And we know it. We know it. Because God gave his messages. You know, we'll say, why can't other prophets, we call them God? Moses took his stick and parted the sea. Okay? Noah built the ark without even knowing, in a desert place where there's nothing out there, and all of a sudden the water came in. Why can't we call Adam, Adam has no mother and no father. We should be closer to them, but they don't. And you know what? It reminds me of my mother-in-law. She's a Catholic. Alhamdulillah, my wife is Muslim for many, many years. It reminds me of a story, I just want to end with that one. There's a story in the Middle East, maybe you don't know it. They said two people out in the desert, okay? Or somewhere walking. And they see something way in the distance on the ground. And so they were thinking, what the heck is that? One of them said, it's a goat. And the other said, it's a bird. No, it's a goat. No, you're like, no. Well, all of a sudden, that thing just flapped its wings and started to fly. Okay? Well, the guy looked at it and said, hey, I told you it's a goat. So that's not a bird. No, absolutely not. It's a bird, even if it flew. What does that mean? You see the truth in front of you, but in your mind, you're programmed to accept what is you set in your mind. You know, if he went out there and said, well, I think he flies, his name's there, it must be a bird. It's not. And it's really true, because when I talk to her about Christianity, about Islam, the first I say a word, she just runs away. So our message is not to force anybody. And God is not going to bring anybody to Islam unless they have that iman in their heart that there's a God. I don't know how the road to it, and our mission is to go out, find these people and tell them what the road is. Because the Prophet could not convince his uncle. Okay? So our message, like I said, is not to force anybody to Islam, but when you discuss with him, and I ask you to read your own, go get your opinion. Don't make it my story, make it yours, and understand, wallahi, every time I read it, I go, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Because it's just so clear in Islam. Quran is very clear. It didn't give us a whole lot of details about the death of Jesus, but he gave us the tools. Say, go back and learn. What is the first word he told the Prophet? Iqra. So go and read. That's Allah.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah, ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Hayya alal falah, hayya alal falah, hayya alal falah, hayya alal falah. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا فحملته فانتبذت به مكانا قصيا فأجاءها المخاض إلى جذع النخلة قالت يا ليتني مت قبل هذا ناسيا منسيا فناداها من تحتها ألا تحزني قد جعل ربك تحتك سريا وهزي إليك بجذع النخلة تساقط عليك رطبا جنيا فكلي واشربي وقري عينا فإما ترين من البشر أحدا فقولي إني نذرت للرحمن صوما فلن أكلم اليوم إنسيا. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. فأتت به قومها تحمله قالوا يا مريم لقد جئت شيئا فريا يا أخت هارون ما كان أبوك امرأ سوء وما كانت أمك بغيا فأشارت إليه قالوا كيف نكلم من كان في المهد صبيا قال إني عبد الله آتاني الكتاب وجعلني نبيا وجعلني مباركا أينما كنت وأوصاني بالصلاة والزكاة ما دمت حيا وبرا بوالدتي ولم يجعلني جبارا شقيا والسلام علي يوم ولدت ويوم أموت ويوم أبعث حيا ذلك عيسى بن مريم قول الحق الذي فيه يمترون ما كان لله أن يتخذ من ولد سبحانه إذا قضى أمرا فإنما يقول له كن فيكون. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
I have a couple announcements for everybody. Our speaker today was Dr. Muswa Kashad. Please donate to the masjid. You can use the Venmo account at CIMIC, or you can look for the QR code posted around the masjid. Friday prayers, for Friday prayers, a mask is required. Please bring your own mask to save money. Tonight, there is a lecture on the Islamic perspective on celebrating Christmas. The talk is going to include how and what we should teach our children about Christmas, and what is their role in sharing that knowledge with their friends and creating awareness without being disrespectful. Dinner will be at 6:15, pray Isha at 7:15, and at 7:30 will be the lecture. Please bring a dish to share. The CIMIC General Body Meeting is on this Sunday, December 18th at 1 o'clock. The meeting will include CIMIC updates from the committees for the current and upcoming year. Discussion sessions will include questions and answers. Next Friday, there will be a lecture at 7:30 about Prophet Isa, peace be upon him, in the Quran and in the Sunnah. This talk is going to include his life and his teachings. MSA has a dawah table on the main quad on campus. This is going to take place every few weeks. Anybody who is interested in helping, please contact the masjid office. Taekwondo is on Saturdays from 3 to 4 p.m. The Islamic school is going to resume January 22nd, 2023, inshallah. And Sister Taibi Haq has passed away last Tuesday. She's the sister-in-law of Sister Suya. Sister Suya is the wife of our Imam, Dr. Hussein. Sister Asima and Brother Yusuf were blessed with a baby boy. They named him Hamza Amir. He's to make dua for the baby and the family. Lunch today is chicken and fish and french fries, and a $7 donation is requested.
Thank you so much, Josh. I just want to add to the talk tonight. It will be about what is the Islamic perspective on Christmas. So I will try to explore the attitude of the Sahaba who live in Ethiopia and Abyssinia. This will be the first Muslim community, a minority community in the majority Christian land. So there's a lot to learn from that, and I will try to conclude the talk in 45 minutes and leave 15 minutes for questions and answers. And the talk will also include sometimes that we're confronted with how to wish people for the best during the holidays, and we can see some conflicting fatwas online. I will try to explore that too. So if you have time, please come. And you will also be on Zoom. I will post the link now, and I'll be offering to the student